Alright everyone, welcome back to their Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fatphil, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Naboo raid and why I'm starting to really get nervous about this raid. The big thing that I want to say, the reason I'm getting nervous about it is because there's not been a lot of news. Like, we know that the Gungans will be needed, the Stap and Queen Amidala, and then it's all been speculation from us. Right? We know that the new Kenobi and Qui-Gon are going to be raid characters, but we haven't heard a lot more than that. And what's making me nervous is the time frame they had given is that they were looking to release this in June. And I went back because I was like, man, I felt like we knew about the speeder bike raid requirements long before the speeder bike raid was here. So I actually went back into the forums. And I can't pull them up. My BlueStacks is acting up right now. But take my word for it that Galactic Legend Leia, her entire requirements were announced on August 11th, which is also when we got the full list of characters that were needed for the speeder bike raid. When I look back at their post that the speeder bike raid was going live, it was November 15th. So we got over 3 months of warning for the new raid. So, and I don't know that we're going to get that same amount of warning for this Naboo raid. And I think the reason for that is because Capital Games probably saw that the speeder bike raid did not generate the amount of revenue that they were probably hoping. That's just my assumption, going off of the way that an entire new faction is getting released. You've got the current Conquest unit, that it really seems like they're pushing to get a lot of stuff into the game in a short period of time and then immediately release the raid. I'm perfectly okay with them needing to make money, but I'm getting nervous because it's not even allowing us to plan for, hey, we know Gungans are going to be needed, but what else, right? Because I was looking through the list of like, hey, this is the stuff we know for sure. So we only have 2 of the 5 Gungans in the game right now, because we still need the 2 other Gungans and then Jar Jar along with them. So we only have 2 of the 5 Gungans in the game right now. None of them are farmable. Also not farmable is the Stap, which again, we know will be a character that we need for this raid. So then I'm like, okay, well, what's the other thing we know? We know Queen Amidala, who's a Conquest unlock. And the more I thought about this, I was like, wow. So you're going to have a character who's going to be very good in this raid, locked behind Conquest. So if you're not doing hard mode Conquest, like, you're really screwed. And if you're doing hard mode and you're not going to get her inside of 6 Conquest, you're also kind of screwed. And I don't know, I started really thinking about this. I was like, wow, I'm getting nervous for this raid because I think they're really going to have to make sure that players outside of those top end game players, that they can participate. Because the raid is a very important source of income for a lot of players in this game. It's a massive source of income. It's probably one of the most important areas, and I feel like it honestly doesn't even get enough attention. I know when I was on 3 Scoundrels in the Cantina with Old Man Logan, he had kind of said like that a lot of guilds don't realize just how important the raid rewards are. And having gone from a guild that was getting the 200 million bucks to even just the 400 million bucks, I can tell you that that was a massive increase in rewards. And if you go from that 400 to 600, it's another big increase of rewards. So I'm getting nervous because I think this next raid, we're going to see a massive dip in the rewards as players struggle to catch up. But it's also about that these top end things that are going to be the A tier teams are going to be really gated behind time, roster, or just a general paywall. Now, again, we don't know, and I'm just speculating, but it's that those nerves are starting to kick in because 3 months from now would be almost the end of June, right? It's March 21st at the time of recording. Are we really okay with having, are we really okay with not having 3 months like we got for speeder bike raid? Because I felt very prepared for the speeder bike raid. Like, I looked at my roster, I'm like, man, I'm in good shape. I can start relicking these characters. I can go right for Leia Organa. But I don't have that same warm and fuzzy about the Naboo raid. And maybe it's getting pushed back and they're like, oh, we'll give you 3 months notice. But it's been kind of quiet on that home front. So, again, I mean, I could sit here and speculate on all the different characters we would need, right? There's some where it's like, yeah, you're a shoo-in. We definitely need you. But, again, it's like that. I just get so nervous because I know nothing, right? We know nothing other than, like, the little bits that we know that aren't even farmable in the game yet. And that's what's kind of nerve-wracking. And this also kind of ties into something that Agnards had said when he and I had collabed. And he brought up the Leviathan, and he said, Phil, like, think about how many players had Leviathan early on. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? Like, I got Leviathan day 1. This is the only journey guide thing I've gotten day 1 since forever, right? There's not a single journey guide thing I've gotten day one other than Leviathan. That speaks volumes as to how much warning we were given, and I think that it probably cost them some revenue because we were able to get prepared for it. And so I'm wondering if, with the way they did Bo-Katan Mandalore right now, where, you know, they're kind of, releasing the event every single month, that they're trying to, hey, get people to kind of spend along the way. I think they'll do the same thing with Jar Jar, but I also think that they're trying to spring these things on us faster because giving us time to prepare for those events was costing them money, right? The way they saw it was costing them revenue. It was people were able to get prepared without having to spend anything. So I'm getting nervous, guys, right? I know it's nerve-wracking because we're getting closer and closer to the time that they said that raid would be around, and there's still no news on what the list of characters is. And who knows, it'll probably come out like an hour after I post this video. But, you know, it's there, right? So what should you be doing to even prepare for the raid right now? And I think you want to do the exact opposite of what I'm about to do. So I said, hey, I'm going to be gearing Admiral Trench. I think he's a character that could be needed for the raid. I also am banking that he's going to get a ship at some point. But this is also a character that has been a thorn in my side. It's something that is missing from my account. I know all of you are going to say, Trench on the bench, oh, he's not good. I go back to something that I have the utmost respect for Arnold. I think he's fantastic for this game. But the one thing that I've always gotten really upset about is that everybody takes his opinions as gospel at every stage of the game. And that is so false. Like, Admiral Trench will stop. I guarantee 90% of my subscribers would not be able to beat an Admiral Trench team that I set down. Going around with the rest of my defense too, right? That you would not be able to beat an Admiral Trench team because you'd spend it going through everything else. Yes, in Kyber 1, maybe he's not the best character. But even Arnold is in the Kyber 1 of Kyber 1. You start moving down the list and all of a sudden Trench becomes more and more of a problem because you don't have the resources to be able to spend the teams to kill him because you need them to do other stuff. So, I love Arnold. I regularly tune into his content because I think he's very entertaining, but I cannot say that I agree with his opinion on characters like this because he's in that Kyber 1 of Kyber 1, where below that, this guy obviously makes a difference, and so we're going to go right in, guys. I really hope I don't get stopped by Carbonis or something silly here because I'm not redoing this video. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get in! Get in! All right. Well, boys, I've been saving, right? This is something I have been saving for. It's something that I've been trying to work on. Yeah, gosh, this is scary. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it, you know? I love that it's called the Swagger Stick, by the way. That's just pure comedy hour. Like, we don't know what the hell this thing is called. We're calling it the Swagger Stick. Yeah, so definitely taking a big gamble on this guy. He's got his current Datacron coming up that I'll be going for, but I think more than anything, it's just a hole in my roster that I need to fill. Those Separatists are kind of sitting there. I struggle finding ways to use them, and I think he's going to give me the ability to get use out of these guys. I am going to take him up to Relic 7. I just feel like I'm unfortunately at that point in my account where I've got to be realistic and say that Relic 7 is where characters like him need to go. Yeah, this definitely hurts. But that's why we hoard, right? So now, kind of looking, we did that. We'll fix mods. I definitely have to fix the mods at some point because, like, that's just not enough speed for him. He needs more speed than that. But I'm definitely getting nervous for, like I said, I'm getting nervous for this raid. I think he could be a character that's going to be required. And you guys will see why I'm going to say that it's time for me to start, you know, doing some things to think about the raid. Because as you saw there, we are going to be desperately low on Zetas here. Yeah, we're just going to be desperately low on some Zetas here. Okay. Yeah, I need that. I'm just going all the Zetas. Gosh, this hurts. I'd also like to just say that it's absurd that he has an Omicron on his basic. I mean, this is crazy. Inflictability block. Reduce critical damage by 20, stacking till the end of the encounter. They're already debuffed, remove 50% turn meter. Like, that's actually a really good ability. It's just absurd it's on his basic. I can't get over that. But yeah, guys, so this is kind of that final nail in the coffin for me of you guys hating me. But I think overall, I hope this guy's needed for the raid. Worst comes to worst, I hope he gets a ship. If not, then I just wasted like 700 counter attack. But, you know, waiting to see what the new raid requirements are, getting nervous. This kind of helps put me at ease a little bit. This was that a hole in my roster I wanted to fill, especially going into 3v3, give me a little bit more defensive. You know, I've got some weak defensive teams, so hoping this generates some holds. So that's the end, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.